Hello all. How are you doing, guys? I am in the kitchen at 8 o'clock in the morning. Well, 9 o'clock now because the sun's coming up through and into the kitchen, so it's already going to get very, very hot in here. And I'm trying to stand back here just because, moving forward, decapitation. So, I am going to combine my two products today, only for the simple reason that I need to use a little bit of my mouth, my pretty face, and just to explain a bit more about what I'm doing. But I am wearing yellow today for the simple reason that I am still waiting for a member of my family to come back into my pack. But because she ain't here yet, she ain't back yet, I think it's just easier to whack on the jacket. Because it's a baggy jacket. I look like a Japanese Maharishma. That doesn't make sense. Put that down. Bring it out. Might still be there. I might just do that a bit more. But you'll see what I'm getting at here. And then, right, let's do what we're doing today. So, French onion soup. Now, I have already done a little bit of prep for this, but right now I am just currently making my croutons for my ciabatta. I don't know why I'm making weird sounds for them, saying strange things, but I always like using ciabatta for when I make canapes, bruschetta, if I'm ever using something to really crisp up in the oven, because it's got those beautiful holes in them. And so when they actually allow more air into the crouton, and then they can almost crisp up and dry out a little bit in the oven better than they would do bread, the more croutons, etc. And things will be falling on the floor, which is great. So, anywho, the good thing about this is, and olive oil everywhere. Right, they're good now, but first, splash in water. And in here, all I've literally added is fennel seed and salt. So whenever you hear a chef say, oh, I'm making a pea salt, I'm making a celery salt, that's all it is. It's just combining salt with anything else. And if you dehydrate them or get them dry enough, you put them in pestle and mortar, and there you get salt. Just a sprinkle on top. Batter in the oven. That should take, well, give it 5 minutes. And it also gives me the time to track time as well. So, that's going to be now. So, fennel salt always goes well with French onion soup. So, this is my checklist here of what I'm doing. So I always have to keep a track of things what I'm doing. But this morning, all I've done, because I had to have my pups do my prep for me, and so this is my vlogtober for today, but my dogtober is going to be kind of separate, and I'll show you a little bit of what my pups do in the kitchen with me where they help me out. So this is Nova's tag here, and Nova is basically my cook, my potion master, and my she's my provider. She supplies all the pups with food, drink when they need to be, and just making sure that everyone's okay. So she is basically a bit of a matriarch in the household. Even though there's a boy, again, she's like my Pink Ranger, she's a little bit gender non-binary. But in here, just sliced up onions, really, really thinly. I've sweat them down with the FENNEL salt, some sugar, a little bit of ginger wine, and there's some dill in there as well, because I like using dill, because I got to deal with it. And then I'll show you also quickly one thing that I need to plug this in for, and this is a 5-minute video, this is going to go quickly. Stick blender. So, down the bottom here is a FENNEL puree, and all I've got in here, very similar to French soup, but this is bulb fennel, some celery, more onions, sweat it down, a little bit of milk, ginger wine again, and I've added in just ground ginger syrup, and I'm making some mess here, people, because I can't get everything into one blender at once. But I usually would have metal jugs, but this blender is so powerful and metal that if you put it into anything else metal, it scratches everything, and it also blunts your blender. So now I made a complete mess of my entire workshop. There. So stick blenders on, and all we do. Oh, just in case you haven't seen what this is. Those of you who know me, or know that I was in Slovakia recently for a wedding, we got this up under the outdoor events bar. So, stick blender, make the puree. This might go everywhere, be warned. A bit higher. So, it's not the smoothest, but you add a bit more butter to it, add some cream, just to make it smooth. But you can see how beautifully smooth that is on that side. And then, with the puree, it's always nice, add some more ginger, add some more butter. You can always add butter to everything, because it makes everything so much creamier. But don't add too much, otherwise if it's still warm, it'll emulsify. Oh, that's creamy. It's lovely. Right, that's FENNEL puree done. So, we're going to turn back now on the oven, onto the hob, because we're now going to make the soup. But now the best thing to do is in here. This is chicken stock. You can see it up there. And all you got to do, usually obviously the camera's looking away, make sure you add some sugar or something with a high sugar content, just to start caramelizing the onions properly and get them start sweating off and browning. Because the whole thing about putting into it is it's sweet. It's sweet, but you've got to make sure it's tangy, salty, good flavour of balance of. 5 minutes already. Okay, we're going to add the chicken stock in gradually, just to allow the onions to absorb it. Like you make risotto, for example. It's just a little bit at a time, just because there's so much flavour in the stock. And you want the onions to gradually start absorbing it over time. And then you add the rest of the stock in, and it will then simmer down, reducing you're not boiling it, don't have it on too high, but you are just allowing the onions to absorb more of the chicken stock flavour. But I've got in there chicken stock, and I've also got porcini mushroom powder, just because that gives that extra earthiness. Oh, that's going to get me a facial. Not yet. Right, another 5 minutes for that. It's bubbling away, which is good. Bit more stock. Take your time. And it is simmering away. Now, I would say the fact that you always tell if the onions will absorb any more moisture based on how quickly you add the stock. So sometimes if you haven't sweat them down far enough, or it just depends on how translucent the onions are when you break down, you will know, what's the end of that? You will know if they are done absorbing any more moisture. They can still absorb flavour, but they can't absorb any more moisture than what they can take. And so now that, okay, I'll put this in the back hole. And turn that one off. Just so that can now simmer away and make the soup as Frenchy and as oniony and as caramelizey as possible. And so then later on, I will quickly run through plating, but there's 2 ways you can do French onion soup. If you use a whole batter, you can even slice it lengthways and turn it into like an open faced sandwich. So the whole piece of bread, or maybe even half of it, cut it in half. You put it like, you toast it enough to be crispy and crunchy and holds a bit of structure and integrity. Thank you, sorry. Structural integrity. Whey. Then you would sprinkle a little bit of parmesan on the bottom of it to start adding the cheesy flavour of it. Because we've got Gruyere cheese, we're going to use some Gruyere, some Comté and some parmesan. Then once the onions are reduced down, you can make them even, if you want to make them more jammy, don't add too much stock. Just add enough stock flavour and make sure there's plenty of either sugar or wine with sugar content. So white wine, ginger wine, something like that. That's going to help it hold its shape, or at least get a little bit of shape in it. So then it goes over the top of the crouton. Then you cover it in cheese and then pop it under the grill like you're on toast. And that's when it starts bubbling up and you get it all melty. The onions will also then hopefully dry out a little bit just to hold some structure as well. And then do that. So we can play up 2 methods. We're going to plate up the onion soup in a bowl and we're going to do the onion soup on a crouton. Right, that's it. I'm showing yellow sleeve. I'm showing yellow sleeve. Which I kind of like actually. Put that up as well. That's a cool look. Woohoo! Right. I will show you the finished product later.